There'll be food and drink and ghosts. And perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited.
Goosebumps was a show that many of us enjoyed since we were little kids. And yet, despite nostalgia blinding me most of the time, I must admit that there were some episodes that, well, to put it gently, sucked ass. Especially the one I'm talking about today. Greetings everyone, and welcome back to Dunwich Manor. Today I'm talking to you guys about the Goosebumps episode, It Came From Beneath the Sink. Now let me start out by stating, I'm aware this is a kid's show. I know the acting won't be great. I know the effects are gonna be weak. I know the plot probably won't make much sense. I understand that. All that being said, this episode is so stupid. The antagonist is a sponge. Doodle Bob is the only one that can get away with that. Quite honestly, I don't even hate this episode. Sure, it's weird and dumb, but so am I, so I can kind of relate. But that's enough of me talking, let's get into the actual episode. The episode begins with a family moving into a new house. We get a voiceover from the protagonist of the story, a young girl named Kat.
Let's go. When we moved into our new house, everyone was happy. Everyone but me, that is.
Kat's actually played by Katherine Isabelle, who was also in American Mary, Freddy vs. Jason, and Ginger Snaps. I guess she's always kind of been in the horror scene. Kat's very doom and gloom. She keeps talking about how she feels like something bad is gonna happen.
I had a feeling something bad was gonna happen. And guess what? I was right.
In fact, the majority of her lines in the beginning are actually pretty negative.
Killer, what's gotten into you?
Wait, I'm sorry, this dog's name is Killer? Don't get me wrong, that's an awesome name, it's just also kind of wild. Hey, you do you, I guess. Killer starts acting weird around the kitchen sink, so Kat investigates.
When your dog whines and paws at something, and you go to see what it is, be careful. Be very careful. Oh, it's a kitty.
There is no way you thought that that was a cat. That makes just about as much sense as a janitor in Creepshow.
Something shiny. Looks like a couple of emeralds.
I'm sorry, I love that movie, but I'll never get over that stupid move. Stevie Wonder could have seen that those ain't no emeralds. Anyways, Kat crawls closer to the sink to get a better look, and we get our first look at the evil sponge. I'm sorry, I just love Doodle Bob. So this is the actual sponge. It's pretty nasty the way it pulses, so that's actually a fairly valid reaction. So as time goes on, there's just a series of bad luck for Kat and her family, and somehow it all seems to be caused by the sponge.
I thought, what's next? My brain!
Oh no, I crashed my bike. That goddamn sponge. This is what I mean by this episode having one of the dumbest premises. It's just kind of ridiculous to have a sponge as a bad guy. There's basically no way to make it scary. Maybe I'm wrong. I am watching this as an adult, and I'm sure as kids, maybe somebody found this creepy. Just know if you did find this scary as a kid, you were a wuss, and I don't respect you. I'm joking. Maybe. Later, Kat's talking to her brother about her suspicions about the sponge, when it decides to pop up and scare them.
See, what did I tell you, huh?
This is better than the X-Files.
Wrong. A sponge is not better than Eugene Toombs, the Fluke Man, whatever the hell this little Oompa Loompa guy is. But I will still say it's cool to see the X-Files brought up in Goosebumps. The kids decide to bury and kill the sponge, while their friend tries to convince them to save it for science.
I'm asking you in the name of science not to do this. You're right. Forget science.
Okay, bro, just pulled one of the craziest 180s. Keep an eye on that guy. He will stab you in the back without hesitation. The sponge is evil enough that when it's buried, it starts killing all the plant life in the backyard. So the kids take it to the science teacher at school to get a professional's opinion.
Just as I suspected. It's a sponge.
Thanks, man, you really came in clutch with that information. The kids start looking through a book called Encyclopedia of the Weird, which they just happen to have. And of course, it just happens to have info on the sponge creature. Apparently, it's a mythical creature called a gruel.
So what's the book say?
It says that your weirdo sponge is actually a gruel.
And it's basically a living bad luck charm. The book also mentions a vampire potato. And as long as we don't see that, I will be okay.
It's this little vampire potato that sucks the life force right out of you.
Realizing that they can't actually get rid of the sponge, they decide to head back to the school to get the sponge back from the teacher. A janitor that's working at the school gets a taste of the sponge's bad luck when he drops something and hits his head. What was that sound he made? I get so mad when I hit my head, and yet this guy just sounds like he slipped into the most comfortable bed. Cat begins looking for the sponge and realizes it's probably on top of a nearby cabinet. Now this cabinet says, in large words, danger acid. So what does she do? She steps onto the sketchiest and most unstable looking stool I've ever seen so that she can get a better look at the top of the cabinet.
Cat, watch out!
With the sponge growing in size, the kids realize that the janitor's cheery music actually affects the sponge or gruel negatively. So Kat starts to compliment it. This scene is super strange. While she's complimenting the sponge, the other two kids are like commenting on how well she's doing.
So handsome. So terrific.
Of course. Brilliant. Kill it with kindness. I love what you've done with your hair.
I like how he comments on the sponge's hair. First of all, it's a sponge, it doesn't have hair. And second, he sounded a little bit too passionate.
I love what you've done with your hair.
Like, man, the gruel isn't gonna date you. For some reason, the spilled acid and chemicals causes the gruel to grow even bigger. Luckily, the janitor wakes up and steps in with a fire extinguisher and is able to stop it, temporarily. The episode ends with Kat making the sponge her pet, since she can't get rid of it.
Good morning, Gruely. Another beautiful day.
Perhaps the sponge is a allegory for the burden that we all carry. The burden of being human. Oh yeah, also Killer comes back with a vampire potato.
A potato?
Do you think that is a sentence I ever thought I would be saying when I started this channel? Killer comes back with a vampire potato? Like, what the fuck does that even mean? So that was It Came From Beneath the Sink. It's such a strange episode, and it's most definitely not one of my favorites, and yet it's still pretty entertaining. In the end, it's meant for kids, so I hope they enjoyed it, or at least I hope you enjoyed it when you were a kid. That'll do it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you liked it, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time at Dunwich Manor. Peace.